Payday 2 is an action FPS robbery simulator with a variety of characters ranging from John Wick all the way to Ethan from H3H3. Despite this premise being extremely simple, there are some quick basics that we need to cover for new players. Starting off with the two main game modes, Stealth and Loud. I highly suggest the tutorial because it gives you a lot of different basics that the game has. However, if you choose to ignore the tutorial, all you have to do is press crime.net and there's going to be a variety of missions that show up. You can instantly hop into a Loud mission, although in order to start a Stealth mission, you have to click your inventory, your secondary weapon slot, pistol, modify, barrel extended, and the budget suppressor the game supplies you with. Also, during the gameplay in this video, there's going to be a HUD that differs from the original one that I downloaded off the internet, so just note that it's not going to be the one you have when you boot up the game. In Payday 2, after every mission is completed, you get some cash for it, which is separated into two different accounts: your spending and your offshore account. Your offshore account is used to buy missions and level up infamy when you hit level 100, whilst your spending cash is used to get weapons, get extra equipment for missions, and attachments for your guns. It works as in 80% of the total cash won is in your offshore, and 20% is in your spending cash from what I've seen. If you do First World Bank on hard, you get $1 million payout, 200,000 goes into your spending, and the other 800,000 goes into your offshore. There's a variety of skill points in Payday 2, ranging from being able to hold another body bag case to delay pagers with ECM jammers. These are obviously split into two different categories, one to help with stealth and one to help with loud. You get 1 to 3 skill points for every time you level up, adding up to a total of 120 skill points. You can also ace skills, which is a fancy way of saying upgrading a previous skill with cooler abilities. People usually just ace abilities for those aced enhancements, and vice versa. Starting off with loud missions, they're more of a shoot-'em-up kind of feel, running through groups of cops and killing them. These are usually longer and more dangerous, but they're more exciting to play through. Most stealth missions give the option to go loud, which many people prefer, although I don't because I personally find stealth missions to be easier. Although this all may seem simple, there are enemies to make this way harder to handle. Some may include medics, tasers, bulldozers, shields, Captain Winters, and cloakers. These are handled in waves called police assaults, where there's a specific amount of time or enemies to kill in order to end it, and you get a brief moment of relief. In loud missions, you can only be down 3 times, 4 with a specific skill, and once you get down 3 times, your screen goes gray, and the next time you go down, you go into custody. Custody is like a death state where you can only be revived if your teammates take a hostage and trade it in between police assaults. There's usually one way to lower your amount of downs, and that's to take a medic bag, which fully resets the amount of downs you've taken and gives you full health. There are some things you should and shouldn't bring on loud missions, namely stealthy things like body bag cases, although there are some suggestions for good things like medic bags, first aid kits, trip mines, and sentries, although sentries are not that good. Earlier I stated how I prefer stealth missions over loud ones, and that's because it's more manageable to me. Most stealth missions have a linear and predictable path to them, which is easy to read for me. There are some things to note, however, like metal detectors, pagers, and camera guards. In your inventory, you might see a small little blue bar that says 20 or 19. This is your detection rating, which shows how much your bar starts with when a guard sees you. For example, if you wear armor and start with a 75 detection rating, or the maximum, they'll see you and your bar only needs to fill up 25% before you get detected, while if you start with a 20 or 17, it needs to fill way more. Starting off with camera guards, however, most missions have a security room with one guard inside that you'll have to open up, be it with a drill, keycard, or lockpicking. So you can disable cameras in the entire building, which makes your life a lot easier. This requires 1 pager to do, however, so if you answer 1, you can only answer 3 more later on. Some missions don't have camera guards, but do have cameras, which makes your life harder when you're doing this, and on higher difficulties, you can't break the cameras because they're encased in a small little area. Earlier I said that if you answer 1 pager, you can only answer 3 more. That's because on every heist, each guard you kill has 1 pager, and you can only answer up to 4, or else the 5th one will sound the alarm. You can also not hang up on a pager, or else it will sound the alarm, and depending on your character, the answers will be funny, witty, or just flat out dumb. Although 4 pagers is the maximum, you can technically pull something off like this, But it just delays the inevitable, and it's just allowing you a little bit more time to complete the mission before the cops arrive. Finally, metal detectors. Extremely simple. Walk through, alarm sounds. They can be disabled, and they're not hard to walk around unless you're not paying attention. Like loud missions, there are some things you should and shouldn't bring on a stealth mission. Here's some examples of what you should bring. ECM jammers, body bag cases, and trip mines. What you shouldn't bring is anything else like sentries and ammo bags, and some trip mines. I'll go into detail in a later video. Some suggestions I have when you start off the game is to do heists like Ukrainian Job or Jewelry Store, because those are easy and yet somewhat a challenge if you don't know what you're doing. I don't know for loud though, but I suggest finding a mission that has a lot of cover and you don't have to pay for, because if you use too much money getting in, it's not going to be good for the payout. Overall, Payday 2 is a fun experience for people who both like stealth and run-and-gun games. If you enjoy either one, I highly suggest you get the game. If this guide helped you out, why not leave a like or even subscribe. Anyways, I'll see you guys next